Hello, and welcome back to the Hello Velocity podcast, where we help corporate women level up without burning out. I'm your host, Brittany Canaski, a leadership coach and trainer here at Hello Velocity. And today we're continuing the conversation about confidence. No surprise there. And today we're going to be looking at it from the angle of different beliefs and mindsets that are holding back your confidence and how to shift that into more empowering and more confident mindsets that can help set you up to be more confident. This is a really important part of your journey to becoming more confident because confidence is one of those things that can easily disappear. It's one of those things that can kind of just ebb and flow in your life day to day, week to week, month to month, or depending on what you're working on, depending on what you're focused on. And it's honestly something that we can't exactly control. But what we can do is notice where we are sabotaging ourselves when it comes to confidence. And this is at key areas. What are those ongoing beliefs and mindsets and fears that we have sometimes our whole lives, but sometimes really specific to what we're trying to be more confident in, that can be holding us back ourselves? So there's enough external noise and influence that is probably going to shake your confidence anyways. So we want enough proof and belief on our side internally in our own confidence so that when it comes to any of that external noise coming in, it won't knock us off track completely. And I want confidence to be something that isn't stopping you from even starting that next big scary project, that next big scary goal or role that you want to go after. So confidence is something that we do actually have more control over than we think. It still can change day to day based on your mood or energy potentially, but it's almost like we want to have this metaphorical piggy bank of proof and belief in all the things that we've already accomplished, all the things that we're great at, our skills. And today we're adding in our actual beliefs internally that may be influencing our confidence, so that if someone or something externally tries to hurt our confidence or it starts to knock us off our own confidence, we can go back to this piggy bank of ideas, beliefs, and excitement, honestly, about ourselves that can help keep us on track and not completely take us out. So I usually see two different types of mindsets that might be holding back your own confidence. First are fears, and then second are just straight untrue beliefs that you may have about confidence or about yourself, that you might be subconsciously or consciously repeating or believing in your mind that is holding you back. So maybe even take a moment to pause here and think about what are some of these beliefs or fears that you have around confidence or around a specific area you want to feel more confident in, and what are some of those beliefs or fears that might be holding you back. So think about what it is for you, and today I'm going to share a bunch of examples and how we can shift those mindsets to be something more empowering and more confident for you. Let's focus in on a few fears first. These are most common for most people that I see, and they tend to just be more natural, I think, because of the situation. So I'll go through a few examples. First is a fear of failure because it's something new or something I haven't done before and I'm trying out. So how this typically shows up is that it's honestly stopping you from even trying something new or starting something new, or it's typically a lot of times I hear people use the language of, oh, someday I want to do this, or I would love to do that someday, but then they never actually get to it. So this goes back to this idea that I don't want confidence to be the thing that is stopping you from doing something that excites you, from doing something that challenges you or is exciting to you or could have an impact on the world. So confidence needs to be something that you are addressing as soon as these types of thoughts or fears are coming up in your mind. With this one specifically, super common. Of course, you're not going to feel confident if you're trying something new because you've never done it before and you don't have that experience to go back on. So what I would challenge you to think about instead is think about all the other new things you've done for the first time. Think about how scary it was, sure, but then think about how it went, how you've grown over time, how it's become less scary over time as well. So whether it's you're starting a new job, maybe it's you're switching industries and it feels really intimidating or scary at first. Well, think about the first job you ever had or the last job that you had just started. Sure, it was still scary at first, but now you've been doing it for years and it's something you do without even thinking about it anymore. You just show up for work every day and you do a good job, right? So think about all the other things that you've done for the first time to make it less scary, less fearful, and you can be more confident. So a new confident mindset we could focus on instead is I trust myself to try something new even when it's scary. On the other side of this fear belief is the fear of success. So the fear of, well, what happens when I do get that promotion or when I do get that big new role that I'm going after? This one might sneak up on you, honestly. It could be that you are so excited about this new goal, or I'll use that example of going after a new job, and you're so excited about it, you're crushing the interviews, you're so excited, and then it hits you before your final interview that, oh wait, if I do get this job, then I'll actually have to lead a team for the first time, or oh, I'm going to be traveling more, or oh, I'm going to have a lot more responsibility. I'm managing a budget for the first time. All of these things that up until a day ago you were so excited for and you were eager to get started with. And then a lot of us can hit this point. This happens to me all the time too. You say you want something, and then that fear of, wait, what happens when I do have to do the thing I want? Or when I get everything I wanted? You're at a new level and it becomes scary, and it's almost like you're starting all over again. So it goes back to the last fear of potentially trying something new and being afraid of failure, or the fear of success that if I get everything I wanted, or if I get that big raise, people aren't going to like me anymore if I make more money, or the people that I've been working with aren't going to like me now that I'm going to be in a higher position, or there'll be some sort of, backlash is usually what it comes down to for the fear of success. It's more responsibility, people won't like me, or things like that. So this is super common. And I think this also goes back to the idea that a lot of us tend to go to worst case scenarios in our head, even when it's about something positive, even if it's about us getting the thing that we wanted. So I want to challenge you to think about a new, empowering, and confident mindset instead of what we've been talking about. So something that I'd recommend, something that a lot of me and my friends use, is what if it's even better than I imagine? So this can help you pull back from worst case scenario. It can help you get out of the negativity, the fear-based mindset, and instead focus on what could be possible, what you could create, and what are all the positive outcomes instead. And that in itself, especially before going into an interview like this example, can really shift your mood, can shift your confidence, can shift your energy so that you're showing up at a more positive and energetic level. So another fear that I often see that holds people back from being confident in something is this fear that, well, other people already do it better than me, so why should I even try? And it's that fear of failure, kind of a different angle of a fear of failure, or a fear of being seen, maybe a fear of success again. It's kind of a combination of the last few. This is something I've worked through all the time and probably I'm consistently working through. And I see this, it could come up when you're about to try something new, or again, if you're already in the midst of doing something and maybe it's those external noises coming in to give feedback or put their fear on you or something like that, that might give your confidence a bit of a shakeup. That's typically when I see this one coming in, or some variation of this of, oh, other people do it better than me, so who am I to do it? Any of those kinds of beliefs that you hear in your mind. So this is honestly something I've dealt with the whole time of trying to build a business over the last 5.5, 6 years now. And to this day, I'm always trying new things. I'm always putting myself out there as being a business owner, and now being on video more and doing things like this. Of course, I know there's plenty of people out there that are way better at creating online videos on YouTube. There's people that have been coaching and doing leadership coaching for 10 times as long as I have, and that's okay. It doesn't mean there's not room for me. It doesn't mean I'm not good at what I do. It doesn't mean I shouldn't be confident in who I am and what I do. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. And it's probably always going to be something that comes up for a lot of us too. So I want to remind you that you can still be what people need, even if you aren't the absolute best at something. I mean, think about even all the Olympians out there who are physically the best at a specific sport. They're still competing with each other at that level. And just because you're not an Olympic level kayaker doesn't mean you can't enjoy kayaking or have fun with it. It doesn't mean there's no room for you to be able to do it too. We need to stop comparing ourselves to people that are further ahead of us, or that are, at such a high degree. That example obviously is extreme, being Olympians. But I think naturally we do tend to compare ourselves to people who are a lot better and a lot further along than us, and in a completely different lane or a completely different level than us. And that's just putting more pressure on ourselves that's unnecessary. So something someone told me forever ago. I don't remember where I first heard this, but it's stuck with me and has helped me a ton throughout my own journey. Is someone had once said that you only have to be 10% further than the person you're trying to help in order to be able to help them and make an impact. So a new empowering mindset for you to think about if you're struggling with this style of confidence is remind yourself, I don't have to be the best to be able to make an impact. All right, now let's look at some untrue beliefs that you may be holding on to about confidence that are holding you back. And some of these I've addressed in previous episodes, but I thought it'd be really helpful to focus on the top few that I see here all in one place so that we have it in a specific episode on its own. And these untrue beliefs are typically these ideas and beliefs that are ingrained in us either from society, our family, or internally, just beliefs that we have that are really, again, holding us back because they're not true. It's just something maybe we were told one time or led to believe one time, and we've really hung on to it, and it's turning into self-sabotage now. So I want you to start evaluating for yourself what are some beliefs that may be holding you back from your own confidence, and we're going to go through 3 specific ones today. First, honestly, this is probably the most common one I see for women especially, is this belief of sharing your accomplishments or celebrating your wins means that you're bragging or conceited. This is one I feel like I need to emphasize and overemphasize all the time, that it's just so deeply ingrained in most women that I know that it's not true. It's not a bad thing to share your wins and celebrate your accomplishments publicly and with other people. And I want you to remember that if you don't advocate for yourself, who will? This is huge, especially in corporate America. A lot of times women I talk to think if they just keep doing the hard work, they keep putting in the time and the effort and keep their head down, that someday someone will tap them on the shoulder and give them a raise or give them a promotion. That's not usually how it works. We need to be our own advocates. We need to be sharing explicitly what our value is, what we're bringing to the table, what value we're adding to the company. We need to be directly and explicitly saying that and putting 2 and 2 together of saying, my report that I'm working on or this project I'm working on is providing this value to the company. Here's how I made it happen, things like that. But when we believe that we are conceited or selfish by sharing things that we're working on or things that we are accomplishing, it's going to hold you back because other people aren't going to know what you're working on. Other people aren't going to know what your value is. And no one's going to be there to advocate for you or support you. So a new confident mindset you can think of instead is that sharing my accomplishments can help me get to the next level and inspire others. Or something like, I'm committed to sharing my accomplishments even if it feels uncomfortable. Because that's usually what it comes down to for most women, is that this feels uncomfortable to talk about ourselves. And again, trust me, I get it. It's been so hard for me to learn to share my photos, share my face, share myself in video more often while growing this business. But it's become something that is actually both boosted my own motivation to be able to do it. And what has gotten me through it, especially in the early years, is I actually had a post-it on my bathroom wall for years that said, I'm inspiring. And it reminded me that I'm doing this not for me. It's not about my face. None of this is about me. It's about the people that I'm helping. And in order to help those people, I have to keep showing up. I have to share what I'm working on. I have to share my value. I have to share my face and all of these things. And it works. And it's really helped me get through the last few years. And I hope it can help you as well. Another belief I see with a ton of women and a ton of my clients I've worked through this with is this belief that I just need one more training, one more class, one more certification, one more degree before I can start doing the thing I want to do. I think it's a flavor of imposter syndrome, but it's almost before you can even get started to have imposter syndrome. You think you need to collect all the degrees, all the letters after your name, all the things. And we've kind of talked about this in previous episodes too, about women feeling like we have to prove ourselves even more in male-dominated workplaces, which historically has been true that, again, we need to advocate for ourselves. We need to prove our work. We need to prove our value and our skills. But this is a flavor of it that it's self-sabotage because you're stopping yourself from even doing the thing. And a lot of times you're putting so much effort, so much money and investing time in all of these trainings and degrees that a lot of times may not be actually necessary for the thing you want to be doing. So of course, I'm not saying don't get a degree or don't get a certification in something that excites you. I'm saying know when enough is enough. And sometimes we just keep going and going and going and going, and again, spending all this money and time to get all these things, as almost it feels like this armor that we're trying to put up of like, oh, no one could ever prove that I'm not good enough for this because I have all these things. And a lot of times it's just stopping you from starting it or from even trying. So think about for yourself, if this ever comes up, when is enough enough? And maybe talking through it with other people who are already in that industry, already in that field, to see how they got started, how many degrees or how many certifications did they have? Are there other routes to do this where maybe the company would pay for the certification instead of you paying out of pocket, so you can get started, get the experience in the role, and the company would pay for it, and you do it during work hours and not on the nights and weekends. So start thinking about different ways to do it so it's not all of a burden on your shoulders, and it's not something that's going to stop you from getting started. So a new mindset that you can think about here is, what can I already do or achieve with my current knowledge and skill set? Okay, the last belief that I want to cover here that's holding back women from their confidence is this idea of imposter syndrome itself. And typically it's some sort of belief of, despite my skills and experience, I still don't belong to be here. And or there's some version of, I'm afraid other people are going to find out that I'm not worth it or that I'm not supposed to be here. It's like waiting for that other shoe to drop. And how this typically shows up is that a lot of times you're deferring to other people when you're already in the role. You're already hired to be the expert in a certain area. You're already hired or promoted to hold certain roles and responsibilities. Yet you're literally holding yourself back, stopping yourself from being this subject matter expert. You're not the one that's feeling comfortable enough to speak up in the room, to share your opinions, to push back on ideas in the room. You're typically deferring to other people who have maybe been there longer, who, going back to our last point, maybe have more degrees, more experience, more letters after their name. And you're almost putting other people up on a pedestal, and you just keep shrinking yourself lower and lower and lower. And it's like you don't believe your own values, you don't believe your own skills and experience and the value that you're bringing to the room. So something really helpful that I love to do with clients when they're in this place is to honestly just list out all your different skills, list out all your different experiences, big projects that you've worked on, or different roles and responsibilities that you've held, what you've learned, how you've grown, or different projects that you've navigated and setbacks you've overcome. It's almost, even typical interview questions. You can answer them for yourself, just write them down. And this can be part of that confidence piggy bank that you can go back to whenever you're not feeling confident, whenever you're questioning, why was I even hired for this? Who am I to do this? Go back to this list, a journal, wherever you want to put it, maybe even a notes app on your phone where you're listing out all of these amazing qualities you have, all of these amazing achievements you've already done. You already have proof that you are worth it, that you are worthy, that you are exactly where you need to be. So a few new mindsets for you to work with today when it comes to imposter syndrome and shifting away from that. One to try is that I was hired for a reason, or I'm here for a reason and my voice is valuable. Another to try is, I have my own unique experiences and skill sets that I bring to this room, or that I can add value or new perspectives to this conversation. So play with all these new mindsets. It doesn't have to be word for word for what I said today, of course. Find what resonates the most with you. Find what can be essentially a mantra that you repeat to yourself, or again, maybe a post-it that you hang up somewhere you see every day as a reminder to be confident in yourself and that you have everything you need and that you can keep going towards what it is that you want to work towards. As we're wrapping up today, what are some other fears or beliefs that may be holding you back from feeling confident? If you have something specific you want to work through, definitely drop it in the comments or send me an email. And I'd love to work through building a new, empowering, and confident mindset that you can shift towards. As always, what's one action you want to take based on what you learned today? And if you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on so that you can be notified when new episodes drop. That's it for today. I'll see you in the next episode.